Last year, a video appeared on the channel in which we looked at all parts of the GTA series in terms of what each part is best at. The addictive system of building a drug empire in GTA Vice City Stories, awesome minigames in GTA Chinatown Wars, or the well-thought-out system of gangs and respect in GTA 2. That episode showed that it is not difficult to find advantages in games published by Rockstar. Quite the opposite. It was even harder to choose the best one while discussing a given part of the franchise. It is much more difficult to create such a list the other way around, and select one very big minus from each part. But as it turns out, it is not impossible. The biggest disadvantage of GTA 1 and its expansions is probably the camera work. The 2D perspective itself can be quite an obstacle for players who remember this title and decide to come back to it. However, this issue is completely understandable. After all, the 2D perspective was a standard at that time. Besides, it has its charm. The problem is how it all works. If someone is skeptical about the 2D perspective, GTA 1 and its expansions are not productions that will help change their opinion about it. Walking through the streets of Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City, or London, you still have to accept it somehow. However, the real problem takes place when we get behind the wheel. Then the camera shakes and suddenly moves away or closer depending on how fast we are going. What's more, we are often shown too small sections of the map, which of course favors spectacular accidents and makes it difficult to move smoothly from point A to B. Fortunately, in GTA 2, this drawback has been, maybe not fully, but in a significant percentage, removed. The camera work in GTA 2 is simply quite outstanding. And while we can't complain about this aspect of GTA 2, it doesn't mean that the game is without flaws. Yes, there are not many disadvantages. If we were to go back 25 years, when the game had its release, it would be difficult to find anything bad in this title. However, what is still a big drawback of GTA 2, and it was also 24 years ago, is saving the game. By the way, it wasn't any better in GTA 1. You probably remember, or at least some of you remember, that the game was saved only between chapters. In other words, it was only possible at specific stages. In GTA 2, we can always save the game, but first and foremost, we need to know where the save location is. And secondly, we must have at least 50,000 bucks on our account. So I don't know about you, but in my opinion, the issue of saving in the GTA series started working properly only with GTA 3. Speaking of GTA 3, what I miss in this production, and what fortunately appeared in GTA Liberty City Stories, are motorcycles. Even though GTA Liberty City Stories shows us events taking place 3 years before GTA 3, it is worth remembering that the release of this GTA part took place 4 years after the release of GTA 3. This allowed Rockstar to refine the technology without which riding on two wheels in GTA 3 was not possible. It's cool that, as I've mentioned many times, Rockstar has come up with some reasonable explanation for the lack of motorcycles in the city. For those who missed this detail, I will mention that in the Liberty Tree newspaper created for the game, we can find an article that the real reason behind the withdrawal of two-wheelers was that they caused too many road accidents. We faced a similar lack, which also ultimately became a big nuisance in GTA Vice City. The inability to swim in this game is a very bad thing. In GTA 3, you could somehow get over it. The atmosphere of the game did not encourage going to the beach. Moreover, the water itself didn't look too inviting in GTA 3 either. So maybe it was even better that the game didn't force us to enter it, but even forbade it. However, the situation is completely different in GTA Vice City. The beautiful waters surrounding the city beg for more activities related to them in the game. I guess even the creators themselves quickly drew similar conclusions. In GTA Vice City Stories, a lot has changed in the context of water. Not only was Vic able to swim, but he could also take part in water sports. Moreover, it is worth adding that Rockstar poorly explained the issue of the inability to swim in GTA Vice City, unlike how it was done in GTA 3. In the game booklet, we can find a note telling us to avoid water, as it is easy to come across sharks prowling nearby. And yes, we can meet sharks in Vice City, but as we know, when Tommy jumps into the water, he dies from drowning, not from a shark attack. Therefore, such an argument is rather difficult to take seriously. What is missing the most in GTA San Andreas, in my opinion, is some kind of quick movement between locations. Yes, in San Andreas, we can go to the airport and then buy a plane ticket to one of the 3 main metropolises. However, this does not solve the problem for several reasons. First, we need to get to the airport and then get to our destination from the airport in another city. Secondly, as players, we waste most of our time moving around during the rural stage. Traveling at this point in the plot can be quite unbearable and monotonous. It's a pity that in GTA 4, where we deal with a much smaller area than in San Andreas, we can take a taxi and quickly get anywhere we want. And in San Andreas, there is simply no such option. In the case of GTA Advance, as some of you probably remember from the episode about this game, it is not difficult to find many disadvantages. Therefore, instead of giving some quite conventional huge disadvantages of this title, such as bugs, uncharismatic characters, lack of atmosphere, or lack of motivation to push the storyline forward, I decided to give something a bit more sophisticated. Well, Rockstar's biggest mistake with this game was implementing a new story that many people will never know, due to the low popularity of the console for which the game was created. As a result, many important facts from the 3D universe to which this game belongs will be simply omitted by most people. It's a pity, especially since it was supposed to be different. Initially, a port of GTA 3 was to be created for the Game Boy Advance. In my opinion, this would be a better option. GTA Advance should have been made for PC or a more popular console such as PlayStation 2 or PSP. Not everyone is resistant to such things as you currently see, plus, not everyone will buy such a niche console just to learn the story of Claude V2, named Mike. A story that is not very interesting. It seems to me that in this case, the developers abandoned duplicating GTA 3 and focused on creating a new story for the Game Boy Advance to encourage players to buy their game. And now we move on to GTA Liberty City Stories, which is surprisingly lacking business mechanics for a game that presents a mafia story. At some point in the storyline, Tony Cipriani becomes someone very, very important in the Leone Mafia. This is precisely the moment when Salvatore Leone ends up in jail. As we know perfectly well, crime families operate by carrying out many illegal operations: racketeering, kidnapping, prostitution, and loan sharking. In addition, some legal undertakings serve to cover up illegal ones, including money laundering. When Don Leone ends up in jail, someone should take care of it, someone trustworthy. And yes, any part of GTA that does not give the ability to buy businesses simply suffers greatly in this aspect. However, considering the circumstances we are dealing with in GTA Liberty City Stories, the lack of businesses is difficult to justify. GTA Vice City Stories is a game that has a lot of advantages. Apart from the typical advantages of GTA games, such as a nice atmosphere, great music, or a well-told story, many other things contribute a lot to the positive feelings of players. However, what is missing to fully complement all these advantages is greater opportunities to customize characters and acquire assets. It's a pity, especially considering that the developers have proven with GTA San Andreas that greater possibilities in this area work well and are welcomed by players. Choosing hairstyles, getting tattoos, perfecting your figure at the gym. All these elements, plus buying some exclusive mansions, cars, boats, or helicopters, is what GTA Vice City Stories should have had. After all, at some point in the story, Vic Vance becomes a drug lord, a respected businessman. Then, despite a considerable amount of cash in the account, there is little to spend it on. Unfortunately, GTA 4 is not without its flaws. You could go for something completely obvious here, like optimization. This one is so bad that even after many patches, despite the great computers we currently have, it still lags significantly. However, from a pure gameplay perspective, what GTA 4 lacks the most is non-urban areas. They work perfectly in the GTA series. Looking at real life and the fact that Liberty City is based on New York, it turns out that the developers had the opportunity to sensibly locate such areas in GTA 4. Looking at the map of the real world, non-urban areas could be located just above Algonquin, which in GTA 4 was created based on the well-known Manhattan. In my opinion, GTA 4 could gain a lot. First of all, it would be possible to do what we are dealing with in GTA San Andreas and GTA 5. The area would be more diverse. It would also enable the implementation of something difficult to encounter while walking along the street of a concrete jungle. The same applies to GTA Vice City, in which the creators unnecessarily removed the gator keys modeled on Key West, a beautiful place often enjoyed by Miami residents. By the way, we know perfectly well from the GTA 6 trailer that this error will be fixed in the next part of GTA. GTA 6 will feature very nice non-urban areas, such as the previously mentioned Key West or the Everglades wetlands. Therefore, GTA 4 allows Rockstar to draw very important conclusions. If one of the next parts of the series returns to Liberty City, it would be good to think about creating places that will allow the player to break away from the sight of skyscrapers, traffic jams, and many other elements typical of a large, constantly bustling metropolis. As for the add-ons for GTA 4, they lack vehicle customization. Yes, this is not the only part of the series in which we would like to see it. However, for some reason, it is most irrational not to include it here. GTA: The Lost and Damned revolves around motorcycles. The add-on, which focuses its storyline on the motorcycle underworld, where we complete almost every mission on the motorcycle of the character we control, does not have the option of tuning this or any other motorbike. We cannot improve either performance or physical appearance. We can do absolutely nothing with the motorcycle of the main character, Johnny Klebitz. The rich, high-speed life that we constantly experience while playing the second expansion, The Ballad of Gay Tony, is unfortunately also lacking in tuning. A world where reputations are built on expensive properties, clothes, and cars should have this type of stuff available. What about GTA Chinatown Wars? When it comes to pointing out a flaw, it's simple. The game is great, but its drawback is the predictable and undynamic story, which lacks a bit of twists and turns. In fact, this is where we can end the topic when it comes to this game in particular. Moving on to the latest part of GTA, there are quite a few disadvantages here. Although you can complain about a lot of things, such as physics, thus saying that GTA 5 has made a significant regression in terms of physics compared to GTA 4, these are not any big problems though. The most annoying thing is the lack of story DLC for the single campaign. For GTA 4, we received 2 great expansions complementing the story of Niko Bellic, while in GTA 5, we only received a pile of multiplayer content. This is cool, but some people who don't care much about GTA Online may feel quite disappointed. And what would you change? If you disagree with something, feel free to let me know. On the other hand, if this episode was good, I encourage you to rate it and, while it's winter, to watch my video about why no part of the GTA story was entirely made in winter. In the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and see you soon.